Hollywood's in a weird place when a $36 million horror movie about haunted Chuck E. Cheese robots is dragging Disney's billion-dollar money by the ears. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 just stormed into theaters with a $63 million opening weekend, broke a post-Thanksgiving record, and scared its way past Zootopia 2 and Wicked for Good like they were straight-to-streaming leftovers. Meanwhile, Zootopia 2 is casually cruising past $900 million worldwide. Wicked is starting to run out of magic, and Quentin Tarantino just re-released a 4-hour blood opera and still pulled millions without doing a single interview. This weekend box office is chaos. Gen Z is winning, Disney is sweating, and horror is basically an ATM. I'm the Critical Nerd, and today we're breaking down the weekend box office for December 7th, 2025, Freddy's feasting, Disney's counting billion-dollar bunny money, and the rest of Hollywood is wondering how to slap animatronics into everything. Let's roll the intro. Welcome back to the Critical Nerd, where we look at the box office the way studios look at your childhood, as a brand opportunity. If you're new here, we roast Hollywood, we track the numbers, and we try to figure out why studios keep spending $250 million to get beaten by a Blumhouse movie and an animated bunny cop. If you like box office breakdowns without the corporate spin, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and let's talk about how a $36 million horror sequel just hijacked the holiday box office. So let's start with the scoreboard. Here's your domestic top 5 for the weekend of December 7th, 2025. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 raked in $63 million. Coming in second was Zootopia 2 at $43 million. Wicked for Good, somewhere in the $16 to $17 million range. Jujutsu Kaisen Execution, if I pronounced that right, somewhere in the $10 million range. And Kill Bill The Whole Bloody Affair, which was a re-release, $3 to $4 million. Now, Freddy's 2 opens to $63 million domestically from around 3,400 theaters. That's not just good for horror. That's, oh no, why did we spend $250 million on a musical good? It's now the biggest post-Thanksgiving opening weekend ever, passing movies like The Last Samurai and Ocean's 11. Worldwide, Freddy's chews its way to about $109 million global on a reported $35 to $36 million budget. That's Blumhouse black magic right there. Meanwhile, Zootopia 2 slides into second place with about $43 million in its second weekend, a 57% drop, but its domestic total is already around $220 million in 12 days, and it's charging toward the $915 plus million global mark by Sunday, yesterday. Third place, Wicked for Good, pulls in around $16 to $17 million, bringing its domestic total close to $296 million. Not bad, but it's starting to show some gravity. In fourth, anime fans show up as always. Jujutsu Kaisen Execution punches in around $10.2 million. And in fifth place, Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill The Whole Bloody Affair re-edit sneaks in with about $3.8 million. Not bad for a 4-hour R-rated bloodbath that came out forever ago. So yeah, horror, animation, anime, and a 20-year-old revenge flick. Welcome to the modern box office. So let's talk about the king of the weekend, or I should say the new king of the weekend, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The movie costs around $36 million, opens to $63 million domestic and $109 million worldwide, and instantly becomes one of the most profitable wide releases of the year. That is the opposite of what Disney has been doing. Critics? Well, critics hate it. We're talking something like 12% on Rotten Tomatoes and 30% on Metacritic. Truly elite, this is trash territory. Now, audiences? Well, audiences tell a little bit different story here. Cinema Score and exit polls show that's around 70% of viewers would recommend it to a friend. And the core audience is exactly who you'd expect. Younger, gaming-savvy, under 25 crowd that lives on YouTube and TikTok, not Rotten Tomatoes. This thing also broke the record for the biggest post-Thanksgiving opening ever and became the top PG-13 opener of the year and the second biggest horror debut of 2025, just behind The Conjuring Last Rites. And remember, the first Freddy's movie, back in 2023, opened to $80 million while also dumping onto Peacock day and date. This time, Universal said, we're not doing that again. Kept it exclusive to theaters, and surprise, people actually showed up. So what are the studios learning here? Well, low budget plus mega fandom equals license to print money. You don't need critics. You don't need kids who will watch 300 lore videos about a haunted pizza arcade. If you stop sabotaging your own movie with watch it at home the same day, theaters might actually make money again. And Josh Hutcherson quietly continues his weird little Josh Hutcherson renaissance because apparently Gen Z adopted him the way millennials adopted Keanu Reeves. So let's boat over to Zootopia 2 now, aka the movie that's doing the exact opposite of almost every other Disney release this year. Weekend number 2, $43 million domestically, down 57% for about $220.5 million domestic in 12 days. That's a strong trajectory, especially for Thanksgiving legs. Global, though, that's basically in rare air territory. Estimates have it hitting around $915 to $916 million worldwide by the end of the weekend. And it's expected to cross $1 billion pretty soon. This is off a reported $150 million-ish budget, which means Disney finally remembered how to do simple math. Make a sequel to a universally loved movie. Don't lecture the audience. Make it look gorgeous. Release it at Thanksgiving. Watch families show up in droves. And quite honestly, Disney needed this. This after a year where Snow White, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four First Steps, Tron Ares, and everything else they tried basically took turns jumping off a financial cliff. One movie can't fix the brand, but it definitely stops the bleeding for just a minute. Internationally, China and Korea are big drivers. Zootopia 2 is still topping the box office in China and pulling big numbers in Korea, proving that when Disney focuses on entertainment first, audiences worldwide will show up. So yeah, talking animals, colorful world, actual fun. Shockingly, people still like that stuff. Sliding into third place, we have Wicked for Good. It grabs in around 16.5 to 16.8 million this weekend for a domestic total near $296 million, which is objectively solid. But it's starting to fall behind the first Wicked's pace at the same point in its run. So Universal has a hit, but it's not quite a mega hit. Between massive budget, giant ad spend, and all the pre-release drama, this one's going to need strong legs and international help to look truly great on the spreadsheet. And fourth, anime continues doing what anime does. Jujutsu Kaisen Execution opens at about 10.2 million. These anime event releases have become a quiet lifeline for theaters. Low marketing, intense fans, high per screen averages. Then in fifth place, you've got Quentin Tarantino. Well, he walks in like, you guys thought I was done? And drops Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, a stitched together extended version of both Kill Bill films. And still manages to pull in around $3.8 million for Lionsgate. Wildgate, wow. No huge promo tour, no big press blitz, just a 4-hour director's cut and some headlines because Tarantino went on a podcast and roasted Paul Dano while casually listing his 20 favorite films of the 21st century. Somewhere a Disney executive is staring at a $200 million flop wondering why a 20-year-old revenge movie is doing this well with zero marketing. So, what does this weekend actually tell us about the state of the box office? Well, it's this. The 2025 box office is, I guess you could say it's officially rebounding. Thanks to Wicked, Zootopia 2, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the domestic box office has crossed $8 billion for the year. And these three sequels alone have generated around $369 million in domestic openings and nearly $1.5 billion worldwide since late November. It's not the glory days yet, but theaters aren't on life support anymore. Secondly, IP still rules, but execution matters. If you're going to give us IP, do it right. Freddy's cheap, fan-driven horror. Zootopia, beloved family franchise with real care put into it. Wicked, the Broadway juggernaut with built-in fans, even if the legs are getting a little bit wobbly. Compare that to the stuff that's not working. Over budget, underwritten, committee-designed IP that treats the audience like an annoyance. Critics versus the audience is now a full-blown content genre. A horror movie with 12% on Rotten Tomatoes still wins the weekend. A $1 billion bunny movie still gets nitpicked to death online. And yet, people are showing up anyway. The message is clear. Audiences don't trust the discourse anymore. They trust their friends and the algorithm. And lastly, studios might finally be learning about release strategy again. Universal not dumping Freddy's 2 on Peacock at the same time? Well, that's a real we learn from our mistakes sometimes moment. Disney going all in on theatrical family-friendly Thanksgiving tentpole? Well, it's also pretty smart. Now, will they immediately forget those lessons in 2026? Well, you can almost count on it. But for one weekend, the box office actually makes sense. So to sum all this up, Freddy's 2, cheap horror, huge win. Zootopia 2, $1 billion bunny incoming. Wicked, solid but a little wobbly. And Anime and Tarantino quietly keeping theaters weird in the best way. So what do you guys think? Is Five Nights at Freddy's 2 actually good? Or is this pure fandom power? And will Zootopia 2 save Disney's 2025, or is it just one bright spot in a really rough year? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you saw this past weekend and which movie you think actually deserved the #1 spot. If you enjoyed this breakdown, again, this helps out with the algorithm. Smash that like button, subscribe to The Critical Nerd, share this video with your favorite box office junkie, and I'll be back soon with more numbers, more sarcasm, and probably more Disney pain. Thanks for watching, and as always, support the movies that deserve you.